were tied for the most of any quarterback in the last 2 seasons. And, you know, Dan, a lot of experts have Malik Willis as the first quarterback off the board, and rightfully so. There's such an upside there, even though a lot of the conversation's been around the developmental side of it. You have some concerns, though.
Well,
what are they?
He's such an impressive athlete, but the thing that concerns you is he plays so slow from the pocket, physically more than anything. And there's too many examples on tape, and you have to ask yourself, is he able to play quickly from the pocket? This clip against Wyoming is the perfect example of it. You're going to have a high-low read backside. You're going to start to your left, and he does a good job of realizing that corner and safety are there. Okay, it's not there. Now, number 3 is going to be this crosser from the right side all the way to left. He's going to come in the middle of the field. His eyes get there. Now, in the NFL, his ball is out right now. You got to throw it in between those 2 defenders. You see this extra hitch pad of the football, and it looks like an inaccurate throw. It's just late, and those linebackers squeeze, and you start to feel that color. And so the question you have to ask yourself is this: why? Why do you play slow from the pocket? And I think the 2 answers are, 1, he was not asked to do that a lot, where hang in the pocket and kind of go full progression reads and kind of see windows. So is he able to develop that into his game? And then the second thing is, it is a little bit of the Russell Wilson conversation, where that's where being that 6'1" quarterback comes into play, because you have to create those throwing lanes for him to see. And that's something where I always say this: quarterbacks that get taken early on, they don't not make it because they're not talented. They fail because they don't fix their real big flaw. And that would be the one thing that you got to figure out. Is he capable of fixing it, and are you guys capable of coaching it out of him?
And you can manufacture those throwing lanes in the NFL. I mean, when Malik Willis goes to the league, there's going to be a ton of play action, you know, expanding things for him so that he can find receivers in the middle of the field. But the middle of the field has remained an issue for Russell Wilson throughout his entire NFL career.
And that's the concerning thing, because I think reps help you get better at it, but Russell really hasn't.
Well, but the reason why Russell Wilson's still an elite quarterback, despite rarely using that part of the field, is 1, deadly accuracy, right, to every part of the field, but also his elusiveness, the ability to move, find receivers. And I think that's what's going to determine whether or not Malik Willis is that elite quarterback we want him to be. Because I'll tell you right now, he's probably never going to use that part of the field. He's about 6'1", right? You do your best, but it's always going to be a challenge. You can rise to the level of a Russell Wilson or a Kyler Murray at that size, or you can have the struggles that, frankly, Baker Mayfield has had with his size. And I think that's going to be like the 2 paths that he could go in.
Well, I mean, he's supremely athletic, right? Supremely talented. He can make all of the throws. We've obviously seen what he could do with his legs. We also have to watch the film in a different way because of competition. Right? You look at the level of competition, and we think of the Carson Wentz, you think of the Trey Lance, a guy like Josh Allen. So when you are watching these things and you see these superb physical traits, you also have to hone in on the little things. Like you're saying, Dan, why are you not processing in the pocket? Why are you not making these plays physically? Because we expect you, if we're talking of drafting a quarterback from Liberty in the top 15, the top 20, I expect you to be more talented than the people you're playing with. So what about the little things can I see, can I look at, and project who you will become in the NFL? And I think that's going to be the issues that scouts have or evaluators have on where to take Malik Willis.
As you break down quarterbacks, and I look, y'all already know how I feel about this quarterback class. Look, it's a weak class, right? And I hate to cast that aspersion on these guys because it's draft week and they excited, but we don't have a guy in this draft with the traits to say he's the franchise and then start drafting around him. But ultimately, Dio, I want to ask you this question because you showed the clip about the pocket. We got a lot of athletic quarterbacks in the NFL. Joshua Dobbs was athletic, right? He went 3rd round. Dak Prescott was athletic, went 4th round. Who is this guy, as far as ceiling-wise, you think he would be if you got him to his full potential in the NFL, and how long do you think it would take to get him there?
He's way more athletic than those 2 dudes.
But what I'm saying is the conversation revolved around development can be eased because of athleticism.
As a quarterback, I think he's a notch below Russell Wilson. He doesn't have Russell's arm strength, he doesn't have Russell's ball placement, and he doesn't have Russell's the ability to be such a deadly passer on a consistent basis.
So quickly, where is a fit? What makes sense?
I still think Pittsburgh would be the team that because they've got a coach who doesn't need to win and a general manager. I will say this, though, because you mentioned the processing thing. I don't think it's a processing thing. I think it's I've done this 10,000 times, and I know I could throw this ball in between these 2 guys with a little bit of touch before my receiver's ready. And that's why the development matters so much, because he needs those reps. That's the hardest thing for quarterbacks to get a feel for.
A reminder that Carolina picks at 6. We think they may be looking at a quarterback. Pittsburgh's a little bit later down.
I think Pittsburgh at 20 is the best situation.
But
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.